The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Car Crafters, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Terry Cosper Insurance Agency is a proud partner with Proview Networks and a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics. Terry's been a local farmer's agent for over 20 years for auto, home, life, and business insurance. Just like high school sports are important, so are teen drivers. For more information, call Terry or one of his licensed staff members at 898-5556. Quotes are available for you.
Carmody Medical provides solutions for your everyday needs. Hot and cold compression wraps provide therapeutic compression for the shoulder, hip, and knee. The therapy wraps are constructed of an insulated outer fabric and a ventilated cotton pocket to protect the body. Elastic belts allow mobility and deliver a gentle, adjustable compression. The reusable therapy packs can be removed from the pouch and placed into the freezer. Contact Jim for more information.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Red Menace TV here on Proview Networks. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle of 610 The Sports Animal fame. What's the FM dial?
95.9 FM.
95.9 FM and 610 AM. What do you think? Do you listen to either one? Do you do sound checks and hear which one do you sound better on?
Depends.
On?
So much sexier on the FM, of course.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you get like that deep voice and kind of do that? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's funny. I first started in radio almost 30 years ago, and there was a national network, and Papa Joe Chevalier. I don't know if you remember that name. I think he's passed now, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think he has. Anyway, he had a producer, Ray was her name, and I mean, they made her out like she was a knockout. She was an attractive. She was a fetching woman, but she wasn't like a knockout. And it's like I always think about that, like on radio, you hear the voice, and they're like, oh man, you think this chick's smoking hot, and then you see him, you're like, okay, maybe not. I don't know. Is it still? I guess it's not the same way because we see you now.
Are you insinuating that I'm not smoking hot?
I'm just saying we see you now, and you know you have that beautiful voice. I mean, you know, not as golden throated as RP, who does the Robert Portnoy,
Right.
who does the play-by-play of the Lobos. Speaking of the Lobos, what do you think?
They're playing pretty well right now.
Why do you think that is?
A couple things. They're coming into their own. But I mean, look, let's be really brutally honest here. Addition by subtraction.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that's not totally fair to put on the two guys who have been sitting out, Logwood and Simons.
Right.
But, once Logwood went out with the injury, Simons had his suspension, this team has really come together, as a group, and they seem to certainly be playing more and more for each other.
So at the beginning of the year, of course, and I kind of want to talk to you about this because I put a tweet out which our very own Adam Deal chose to pick up and tried to bring some weak sauce in. And you bring weak sauce with me, I'll knock it out. Don't come to the paint week with me. But I said on the tweet, I said it, very clearly. I said people that were ready to run this guy out of town in the first month of his career here, and I should say the first month of the season, I said it then, I'll say it again. You got to give this guy a little bit of time to build some chemistry with this team. I mean, who's left that really last year?
Well, nobody. Nobody. And that's what I'm saying. You look at who's back from last year. Firstinger probably got more minutes than anybody last year, and I mean, honestly, he was a role player at best last year. Maybe Kuiper was up there minutes-wise, but like Mathis barely got off the bench last year, and this year he is a key cog. He's getting to show what he can do, and he's making the most of those opportunities. So to your point, even the guys who were here last year and decided to stick it out, none of them were really big-time contributors last year, and everybody's contributing this year. And it's taken some time for them to gel with the guys who have come in. Your Antonio Jackson's a guy like that, who's a grad transfer. It's just
West Conference Player of the Week.
The reigning Mountain West Conference Player of the Week. It's taken some time.
Yeah, I mean, it has, you could tell just watching the way they played. I mean, it was exciting basketball. You just were waiting for the chemistry and the talent to kind of catch up with the style. Would you think that's a fair statement?
I think that's a fair statement. The biggest difference, though, and they won 2 in a row. They won 4 of their last 5. If you look at this stretch of games, the biggest difference is they're playing consistent. They're, what was, the fatal flaw in this team earlier in the year. Late in the game, they'd go cold, leads would slip away, a close deficit would span out to a bigger deficit, and games were getting away late. That's not happening right now. Quite the opposite. Back-to-back games where deficits went away as we got closer and closer to the end, and they're playing better at the end of games. The shooting's more consistent. The defense, by and large, is more consistent. So, really, the biggest part is something incredibly simple, playing consistent.
You mentioned Antonio and you mentioned Mathis. And I think you can throw Firstinger in there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Does Firstinger, let me ask you this. Does he have an opportunity to maybe be all-conference player?
We'll see.
I'm just saying. He's played. The double-doubles that are starting to mount up.
He's a guy who is making the most of his opportunities. And, yeah, like you said, he's become a double-double machine. 2 straight games, he's hit free throws, in the last 5 seconds to seal ball games. I don't know that anybody watching him the last couple of years would have thought we'd see this Joe Firstinger, but he's certainly, like I said, making the most of those situations and taking advantage.
I think the fact that Weir's gave him the opportunity to make the most and coaches that effort and that attitude that they brought in, and I think you're starting to see the fruits of that. I think you mentioned Mathis as well, who couldn't even get off the bench but maybe 30 seconds last year. All of a sudden this guy's putting in key minutes. He's clutch, and he's hitting some big-time shots. It's not like, he's just coming off the bench trying to throw something up and then getting sat down. He's making plays. And defensively, I thought he's played really well.
His defense, look, he's probably, with all due respect to Anthony Mathis, he's probably never going to be a great defensive player, but he has certainly picked up that aspect of his game. Paul Weir even said earlier this week, that was my one concern. I knew what he could do offensively, but could we afford to have him in there, defensively? Would he be a liability? And he stepped up that part of his game as well.
So let me ask you this, because we've beginning of the year. We had Coach Weir on, and there was a lot of talk because it was no games had been played yet.
Sure.
But we started hearing about the process, and I know Jeff Grammer of the Albuquerque Journal uses that term a lot in a lot of his stories. Coach Weir uses that term, the process.
That's why Jeff uses it,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what Weir uses.
He's just parroting, right? I get it. I mean, are we finally starting to see where we knew there was a start of the process, but we're starting to see the fruits of that process coming out a little bit now.
Somewhat. Look, it's going to continue to be a work in progress
Sure.
as the season goes. But as Coach Weir said, from the start, we want to be playing our best basketball come March and be ready. For the Mountain West tournament. I think you're starting to see this team really come together. They're 5-3 in conference play and third place. Just because of the way the top of the conference is looking right now, I don't know that they can get any higher than that, but they can continue to get better and be ready for the tournament. And who knows?
I said at the beginning of the year, we had Jeff Grammer in, I said, I think this team can finish in the top 3. Most people laughed at me. I kind of laughed a little bit at myself, but I'm feeling pretty good about that prediction.
I got to be honest. I've heard you trumpeting that or seen you trumpeting that on social media.
You don't recall
I don't remember.
So I'm going to
that
have to go back and look on YouTube at all the videos that we had when I did.
Just have Alden go through the archives.
Alden go through the archives, find out when I picked this team to finish third, because I know I said I believe this team can finish third. I believe it was after the BYU exhibition game. I said that defense will keep them in this conference. Plus, this conference still isn't. I mean, it's not great.
No, it is what it is. It's most likely going to be a one-bid league.
Sure.
But if you position yourself as well as possible and you're playing your best basketball, come March, once you get into, the losing you're out, tournament.
Sure.
Who knows?
Well, and see, I was talking with Adam Deal about that, and he says, well, Boise State's pretty good. And they're okay. They're a good team.
They're very good.
And he said, Nevada's pretty good. I said, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're not bad teams. They're probably the top, you would say the 2 top teams in the conference, first and second right now, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So, yeah. But one night, right defense, this team hits on all cylinders.
And that's why I said what I just said. I don't know that the Lobos can move any higher than third, assuming they continue to play well, just because of what's above them and the start that those teams are off to. But yeah, if they're still playing well like this and continuing to gel and come together come tournament time.
And you know what else is exciting, Michael? And I think we've missed this for a few years here in Loboland. Not just the chemistry, but their the confidence. You can see that confidence starting to grow.
And that's something you didn't see earlier in the year.
Right, and we didn't see it last year or the year before either. In fact, as the year went on, I think it's been well chronicled, the losing that happened there. But now you're starting to see this team. They're starting to believe in themselves and believe in one another. And that's where you see these guys all of a sudden they're making plays that.
Well, but look, guys on the team are starting to learn their roles. One of the things that Trujillo and I talked about so much on our show on the Sports Animal is, okay, you get into these late game situations. Who's your go-to guy? Who's the guy that's going to hit you a big basket when you need it? And for a while, I don't think anybody knew who that was. Over these last several games, it's been Antonio Jackson that stepped up, Mathis to a lesser degree. I mentioned earlier, Firstinger, each of the last 2 games, big free throws within the last 5 seconds of the game to help seal it. Guys are starting to learn their roles, accept their roles, and excel in them.
Well, okay, so before it seemed like the focus was on Sam Logwood early in the season. He was the guy. Now with the injury and everything else that's gone on this year with Sam, these other 3, the 3 that you mentioned, have really stepped up. And I think everyone, now all of a sudden you have that 3-prong. It's like, okay, this guy can do it, this guy can do it, this guy could do it. And Firstinger, once again, it's not just the scoring, it's the rebounding.
If we're going to continue to hype the accolades on Joe, you should probably say his name right.
Okay, say it again.
Firstinger, not Stringer.
But he's Stringer.
Well, he didn't start the last 2 games.
I know, but he should be. I don't know. I'm just saying. I like the way he plays. I love the excitement.
Oh no, absolutely.
And I mean, I enjoy. I mean, so it was brought to my attention that I haven't been to many games, obviously, in Dream Style Arena.
Right.
And mostly because there's this crazy thing called work and school that I've been doing. So, however, I do follow this team very closely and enjoy watching them. And I find they're exciting. They're exciting to watch. They're exciting to listen to. Even when they're losing, there's still an excitement because that, all of a sudden when they're cold or that defense comes alive and all of a sudden they start hitting a couple of shots and all of a sudden they're back in the game.
I think one of the things that's turned off Lobo fans the last couple of years, and we don't need to debate whether it was true or whether it was perceived, but there was a perception that the team wasn't always trying their hardest, and when things started going south, they kind of quit, they kind of pouted. You don't see that at all this year. I mean, you know, even when shots aren't falling and leads are slipping away or deficits are growing bigger, this team is always playing hard. They're always trying. So, yeah, to your point, it is fun to watch because it's something you haven't seen the last few years.
No, I agree. So, and you're having fun. You're there on front row, pressing the dials. You get to watch the games. What are your thoughts, just you, I mean, as a fan? Well, I guess you could talk about it as an award-winning radio show host as well as a talk show host here on Proview. What's it like this year compared to last year for you?
For me personally, I mean, it's same old. But from watching the team, the interaction, certainly, everyone's a lot more engaged. Like I said, guys don't hang their heads and quit. They don't pout. You know, they cheer on their teammates. They want to see everybody do good. And if one person's not having a good, like Dane Kuiper. Dane Kuiper had a really bad shooting night the other night. He also came up with arguably the defensive play of the game late in that game. So just because your shot's not falling, you're not hanging your head, you're not pouting, you're still doing other things, you're playing hard out there. And when you do that, look, it's very cliche, but good things happen.
Oh, look at that. Very
it's
nice.
True. Just because it's a cliche doesn't mean it's not true.
So let me roll another cliche out. You're not waiting this year for the other shoe to drop every time during a game. Like if they fall behind, you're not. Because I know sitting on press row, I mean, it happens. I mean, the team's playing bad and they're looking bad and they seem to be hanging a lip and all this stuff. You're just like constantly waiting for like, okay, let's see when they roll over, I guess would be the term to use. And it's like this year is just like, all right, let's see what they do. Even if they come up short, it's still exciting because you know they're not going to be hanging a lip, and you know they're battle. Hey, they had they had another recruit in a little 5-star McDonald's All-American, Carlton Bragin, huh? Yep. Saw that he's actually enrolled in school. Let's see what happens. Official word could come out anytime this week. Although I understand he'll have to pay for his own way if he decides to come to UNM. But he will be a mid-year transfer, kind of like Danny Granger was, so he'd be playing in December next year if he did decide. But how huge is that? When was the last time we had a McDonald's All-American? I think he came from Arizona, too. I think it was Ruben Douglas.
Could have been.
I could be wrong.
You know, and that's the other thing. Certainly nobody wants to hear wait till next year or be patient, because that's something sports fans in general aren't patient people, and Lobo fans certainly aren't patient, and I totally get that. But if you've been excited what you've seen over the last 2 or 3 weeks with this team, and you're starting to see just exactly what, you know, Paul Weir's offense, his pressing defense can look like when everything's firing and everybody's playing well, wait till next year. Two best guys on the team might be sitting on the bench right now as transfers.
Sure.
And you look at the recruiting class next year, rumors about additions to that and all that. Good things I think are ahead for Lobo basketball for sure.
Absolutely. Brandon Mason's tearing it up on the recruiting trail. Coach Weir as well. This team's looking good. Hey, for those of you waiting till next, you don't have to wait till next year to hear about MMA news, because Micah Frankel will be here with CageMinds.com segment here in just 1 second. We'll be back right after this.
Patterson's going to fade back on a 3, and he knocks it down. Ortiz was tripped up inside. Garland at the buzzer. Yes! This District 2 in play. Look at the crossover by Tamina LeVar.
Of Atrisco Heritage. Ramos, nice tuck move to the basket, layup is up and it's good.
Beyond 3 seconds to go in the corner, and he'll
Quarter score from Frisco is 50-30 in favor of the Jaguars. In transition, hammer it home! Jaden Phillips with a stop! Pass by White.
Around the back, all the way. Deathridge fit. I don't know how it.
6.0 to go.
Well, I feel they're going to try to get it to Patterson. They got to get him the ball on a touchdown.
This time the bigs are back. So just guards in the backcourt here.
Oh, man.
To midcourt. They're going to get Patterson on the run.
Good
Underneath
play,
for the win!
The Barley Room, a proud sponsor of Proview Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Hey, New Mexico, come check out the newly remodeled guest rooms at the new Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center, featuring 309 rooms, 30,000 square feet of meeting space. New Mexico's only indoor water park featuring the Wave Runner. 2,200 square foot fitness center with hydro massage chairs. Also enjoy breakfast at our new Manzanita Grill and watch your favorite team play at Altitude Sports Bar and Grill. It's all at Wyndham Albuquerque Hotel and Conference Center.
Garden Sort's Team Sales is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Get into the game. Garden Schwartz Team Sales features fine products and apparel from Wilson, Schutt Sports, Speedline, and Russell Athletics. We offer custom embroidery and screen printing services for all of your school or club needs, from team uniforms to school leather jackets. Specializing in all sports and serving all communities, from big schools to small schools, from up north to down south, or all points in between. Garden Schwartz Team Sales. For great prices, friendly staff, and quality products, call Garden Schwartz Team Sales today at 1-800-880-7767. That's 1-800-880-7767. Since 1939, Garden Schwartz Team Sales is a proud supporter of New Mexico youth athletics.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewNetworks.com to buy your DVD today.
Folks, there's no other way but to be all in. Either he's Lord of all, or he is not Lord at all. And you can experience the real and authentic, true life change that only God can provide to humanity. See, when we truly encounter Jesus and purpose to know him and follow his teachings, hashtag life change will occur.
Welcome to the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. This is Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. We had a 3-event weekend last weekend, 3 MMA events. Little refresher, there was LFA, there was UFC, there was Bellator. We have some highlights. Let's get to those if we can. Start off with
Eric Golf Course.
Oh, the LF. That was a commercial, I think. We're going to stay here, actually, though. We're going to talk about fighting. You can see right there, Ian Hinshaw gets a takedown. Daniel Miranda got up, lazy jab, big overhand, and a huge knockout for Ian Heinrich. Heinrich, with that knockout, will become the #1 contender, it looks like, for the LFA middleweight title, which is going to be on the line this weekend. We'll talk about that. We have one more highlight to run from LFA. Daniel Moffat tried to get the takedown, couldn't do it, eats the left hand from Thon Lee. Thon Lee continuing the pressure, and the ref jumps in. Was it early? Moffat wasn't out. Thon Lee, though, is your new LFA interim featherweight champion and will get the pleasure of tangling in the octagon with Kevin Aguilar to unify the titles. So that was LFA in Phoenix, not pictured. We had played for you a couple weeks ago a piece of my interview with Roman Alcantar. Roman did compete at that LFA 31 event. Unfortunately for Roman, he was the victim of one of the worst low blows I've ever seen. To his courage and heart, he was able to get back up, continue fighting, but then stepping away from the cage, circling out from a kick, he blows out his knee. I want to send best wishes on a speedy recovery to Roman Alcantar, who just was the victim of a vicious situation. Probably, honestly, should have called it quits after taking such a severe low blow. I mean, it was nasty. I don't know if everything was still left there on him. It was so bad. So that was our action Friday night. We had a 2-event night on Saturday, Bellator against the UFC. We have some highlights from Bellator. Highly touted prospect, Aaron Pico, vicious left hand to the body, one knockdown. Second time's the charm. That liver shot, it just takes the life out of Shane Kretner. A huge win for Pico, who again got submitted in his pro debut, the Bellator pay-per-view event. The highly touted prospect has rebounded with 2 vicious knockout wins, one a clean left hook to the head, this one working the body and finishing off with the liver shot. Aaron Pico in Bellator, still an interesting prospect to keep your eye on. We have another highlight for you of the main event. Rory McDonald challenging Douglas Lima. Lima in the red gloves, McDonald in the blue gloves, and McDonald's ability to get the takedowns is what would make the difference in this fight. But Lima would cause damage with the right leg kicks. If you can go online and look for it, Rory McDonald's left leg, lower left leg by the shin was so battered, it looked like something was trying to crawl out of it. There was a giant hematoma, a big injury, but McDonald was able to suck it up, grit it out, get that takedown in the 5th round that was pictured, and win his first world title. The new Bellator welterweight champion is Rory McDonald. And also, for those of you that care, Chael Sonnen defeated Quinton Rampage Jackson in the first fight of the Bellator 2018 Heavyweight Grand Prix. All of your results for LFA, for Bellator, for the UFC are up at cageminds.com. We did have a UFC. UFC was in Boston. It's the 25th anniversary of the UFC. We have a couple highlights here and a vicious knockout. Knockout of the night. Razak Al-Hassan catching Sabal Mahasi. That was the knockout of the night. One of the best performances of UFC 220. UFC 220 also featured 2 title fights. We have highlights from both of those. Daniel Cormier ended the first round almost submitting Volkan Ozdemir. In the second round, a quick single leg takedown, able to cut through the half guard, get to the side control, and then the crucifix position, that last position we showed you, and Daniel Cormier pounds out Volkan Ozdemir to once again solidify himself as the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world. In the main event, we have a highlight also. Francis Ngannou, the big puncher, against Stipe Miocic, looking to make history. Miocic landing the big right hands in this fight. And again, wrestling dictates where the fight takes place in MMA. Big takedowns for the champion and still for the Clevelander, who sets a new record, a new standard. His 3rd title defense in the UFC. That is a record. The baddest man on the planet, and now the greatest UFC heavyweight champion of all time, Stipe Miocic. The light heavyweight divisions and heavyweight divisions are seemingly at a point right now where there's no justified contenders who have really been making noise, who are on a win streak. I am not the kind of guy to be looking forward and promoting these super fights. I think that we should keep working the divisions. But in this case, we may be ready to see Daniel Cormier versus Stipe Miocic, the light heavyweight champion of the world, versus the heavyweight champion of the world. It could be a huge super fight, especially with Daniel Cormier talking about being on the cusp of retirement and spending more time behind a desk such as this. That was last weekend. We have great action to look forward to this weekend. On the national scene, you have 3 fights. 2 of them on Friday night. Friday night, LFA 32 on Access TV, Lake Charles, Louisiana. 2 title fights. The light heavyweight title is vacant, but will be no more after Ryan Spann takes on UFC vet Alex Nicholson. And in the main event, the vacant LFA middleweight title is up for grabs as Brendan Allen takes on undefeated Anthony Hernandez. You also have on the Paramount Network from Temecula, California, Bellator 193. The main event has a welterweight bout, Lorenz Larkin, who probably could earn himself a world title shot at Rory McDonald with a victory, takes on Fernando Gonzalez. A co-main event of J.J. Ambrose versus Syed Awad. Those are both Friday night. Then Saturday, the UFC is on Fox, UFC on Fox 27. From Charlotte, North Carolina, the main event, Ronaldo Jacare Souza, the number 3 ranked contender, takes on number 8 ranked middleweight contender, Derek Brunson. This is a rematch over 5 years in the making. The first time these two fought, Jacare scored a 41-second knockout. We also have some local action with 2 events going on this weekend. You can join me locally at the Embassy Suites here in Albuquerque for King of the Cage Horizon, a night of mixed martial arts action where undefeated Sherwin Price from Fit NHB will be in the main event. The featured amateur fight that I know of is a rematch from about 2 years ago. Nate Gomez scored a shocking head kick knockout of Austin Lewis. They will throw down once more Saturday night. And then Saturday night also at the Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino, Holmes Boxing presents Cold War 4, the main event, a Cage Minds Award winner for the most guts. Gene Perez takes on Antonio Tone Martinez. Also, Cage Minds 2017 New Mexico Boxer of the Year, Jose Osorio, takes on Derek Perez. So you got local action, boxing and MMA, and we showed you the 3 national cards going on. Go to cageminds.com. We also have a current interview up with undefeated boxer Angelo Leo, who relocated from Albuquerque to Las Vegas and will be on this weekend's Mayweather Promotions card, so go check that out. And we'll have more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Ladera Golf Course. Opened in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at Proview Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
When I train for American Ninja Warrior, I schedule regular workouts to stay in shape.
To keep my car in Ninja Tough shape, I head to a Napa Auto Care Center for regular maintenance and genuine Napa Auto parts. Like brakes and batteries. I trust my Napa Auto Care Center for quality parts and quality service.
And with the 24-month, 24,000-mile nationwide warranty, I drive away with peace of mind every time.
Visit AutoCareNM.com to find a location near you.
Christy May's restaurant is locally owned and operated with a family-friendly atmosphere. Their array of homemade comfort food is just like your mom's. From homemade chicken pot pie to their famous chicken salad on a croissant, Christy May's even offers lunch catering. Christy May's restaurant is located at 1400 San Pedro Drive Northeast. They offer drive-in, carry-out, and catering. Open Monday through Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart. Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
For 55 years, people have bought trucks from Tillery in Los Lunas. We have a great selection of vehicles, the quality service department, and some of the best deals in the state. But most importantly, we found people prefer to buy trucks from people who actually drive trucks.
Tillery is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Locally owned and operated, located in Las Lunas, right off I-25, exit 203.
Don't forget, every Proview Network sporting event is on sale at our DVD store. Go to www.proviewnetworks.com to buy your DVD today. Gecko's Bar and Tapas, a proud supporter of Proview Networks. It's been a fan favorite spot for food lovers and sports fans. With not one, but two great locations, including outdoor patio, an atmosphere you won't want to miss. Gecko's, off Academy and in Nob Hill.
Locally loved restaurants like Farina Pizzeria, Farina Alto, and the Artichoke Cafe are the perfect venue for your next event. Farina Alto has traditional Italian food, plus handcrafted cocktails in a beautiful Northeast Heights location. Farina Pizzeria with a downtown vibe, amazing affordable wines, and local beer. And the Artichoke Cafe has set the standard for casual fine dining since 1989. Visit our family of restaurants and see what fine dining is all about.
Ladera Golf Course. Open in 1980, Ladera features a full 18 including spacious greens, a large driving range, roomy practice putting greens, and 4 large lakes. Surrounding Ladera, beautiful views of the Sandia Mountains to the east and volcanoes to the west. Ladera is a challenging city-owned course with the longest playing yardage of any other city courses. For weekend tee times and more information, call 505-836-4449.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of Proview Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook.
The New Mexico High School Coaches Association, established in 1941, is an organization of New Mexico's best and most professional interscholastic coaches. Coaches across work daily to help our student athletes excel in the classroom, on the field of play, and in our communities. Students that participate in interscholastic activities attain higher grades, higher graduation rates, and higher wages. Responsible for the North-South All-Star Games, statewide Coaches Award Program, and providing multiple professional development opportunities for New Mexico's coaches. Be a great coach by coaching beyond the game.
Hey, welcome back to Red Menace TV. Hey, I want to switch gears real quick, Mike.
Sure.
Did you think Sunday, I guess it was afternoon.
Yeah.
Was there any point that you thought the Jaguars really had a chance of winning that game?
Oh, against the Patriots?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly, no.
Even when they were up, was there at any point when you said, oh yeah, the Jags have it? I'm not even saying they're going to win. I'm just saying, did you think they had a chance?
Have a chance? Maybe. Did I think they were going to win? No, not for a second.
Yeah, I mean, it was so funny. I mean, I'm watching it, and we're watching the game, and I'm with my girlfriend and her dad and stuff, and we're watching it, and they're like, there was a point in the fourth quarter where the Patriots, they were down by the touchdown, and they went 3 and out. They were deep in their own, and they're like, oh, I think that's it. I'm like, no, it's not. I go, something will happen. I guarantee you that'll just give that guy one tick on the clock. I think, no, you know what it was? It was when they did the trick play and there was the fumble.
Right.
That's what it was. Okay. I'm sorry. And it's just like, by the way, Tony Romo has really enough already. Do I have to hear about chunking anymore? We're chunking. I mean, there was I don't know.
I don't want to upset all the Cowboy fans out there, but it's like Romo just never got any better, and he slowly digressed as the season went along.
Yeah.
To be fair,
he's
not used to performing in the playoffs. These last couple of weeks for him were not good.
Yeah.
Luckily,
it's like a new horizon.
Doesn't have the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a new thing for him.
He's done now. Yeah.
Yeah, NBC doesn't have the Super Bowl.
No, NBC has it. CBS does not.
Oh, so is he doing the Super Bowl?
No, so he's done. He works for CBS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So
who is doing the Super Bowl?
NBC.
No, but who's the play-by-play in color?
I assume it's Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth, which is light years better than Romo, dude.
Really?
Absolutely.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not even a question.
It's weird. You got two Cowboy quarterbacks doing color. You have Troy Aikman and Tony Romo, and I can't stand either one of them.
I don't mind Aikman.
Really? He bugs me. I don't know why. The dude I like the best, the former Cowboy that does color, and I don't even know if I heard him this year, because I don't think he had any Cowboy games, was Daryl Johnston. I thought he was I think he's the best color commentator that there is.
He's not bad.
Yeah, I think he's the best. I don't think there's anyone. I mean, he's not Madden good yet, but he is the best. I think that's my personal opinion. Anyway, one other thing. So anyway, yeah, I there wasn't one point. And how about Blake Bortles? I mean, I got to give the dude credit because Blake Bortles, I thought he played better in the playoffs than he did in the regular season.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, he was clutch. I mean, a couple of those passes were clutch. I mean, they went in, they scored. He kept them in the game. Obviously, they won the game before.
Well, he played well in the first half. See, to be clutch.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, the very definition of clutch. You have to come up big, in
but they
pressure
can't. I mean,
time.
yeah, that's true. But I mean,
Bortles played well. Absolutely. I think Bortles probably did a lot to erase any doubts
of him being an NFL quarterback.
Folks in the Jaguars organization may have had. If there were any doubts, he probably took care of that.
Now, on the flip side, going to the NFC, the Vikings had no business being there because they should have lost the week before.
They were 13-3 on the year, though. It's not like they backed their way in.
Yeah, but they backed their way into that game. You know, the one dude took the stunner and Diggs went in for the touchdown. Anyway, did Case Keenum or Nick Foles, have they done anything to assure themselves to be traded to Cleveland or another place that will need a quarterback?
Okay. Case Keenum's a free agent.
Yes.
Yeah, Case Keenum's earned himself a big payday next year.
Yeah, you think? I mean, do you see him going anywhere? I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't. My personal belief is the Vikings love them some Teddy Bridgewater, and though he only played a couple of snaps in mop-up time this year, they saw him come back from that injury,
and he did throw that interception.
And he's he came back from the injury. That they saw him come back from that, and he's 100%. I think they keep Bridgewater. They probably let Bradford and Keenum go. And look, you look at what Keenum did this year. Yeah, there'll be a lot of teams interested in his services.
I'm trying to think who well, I shouldn't say it. Who doesn't need a quarterback, but who needs a quarterback that would take him, you think?
Jets, Bills, Broncos, Redskins, if Cousins leaves.
Oh, I was going to say. Giants?
Giant, yeah, maybe. Giants, maybe.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Foles, I don't know, just because you're talking about such a shorter window for him to.
But he was a starter before.
To be showing what he's done. One time.
And he did go away as a free agent, right? I think to the Kansas City Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then he went to the Rams. That didn't work out. As a matter of fact.
Those are Rams, that's right.
He and Keenum were both on,
that's right.
on a
we
Rams
see that
team
picture all the
right,
whole game.
They were both on a Rams team that went 4-12.
Yeah.
And there they were playing in the NFC Championship.
Yeah, amazing,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Crazy. Speaking of, a picture that we saw over and over again that was like, enough already, okay? We know they played for the Rams, great. Can we drop the dilly-dilly?
You don't like the dilly-dilly?
No, I'm done with it. I am. It was funny at first. I didn't understand. I still don't understand what it means. But now it's driving me crazy. It's just annoying.
Okay, see, here's the problem that you face, Leroy.
Okay, yeah.
As a teetotaler, so someone who doesn't drink, doesn't spend a lot of time in bars,
yes,
you don't get it.
Okay.
I understand where you're coming from. There was a time when I'm like, this dilly-dilly thing, it's just not all that funny.
Yeah.
If you're at an establishment or with a bunch of friends who are partaking in the adult beverages,
yes,
and those commercials come on, and everybody starts screaming dilly-dilly,
yes,
and then you start screaming dilly-dilly because you too are participating in the consumption of adult beverages,
yes,
it becomes a lot more fun that way.
So it's the drunks at the bar that makes it funny.
I did not use the D word.
Oh, okay. The highly inebriated at the drinking establishment.
The relaxed adults consuming an adult beverage or 8.
Or 8. All right, I don't know. I just, the commercials, I'm done with them. I just don't think they're funny anymore.
That's fine.
They become silly, not dilly. I mean, there was other ones. I mean, they had like Spuds McKenzie back in the day. That was all right, but it ran its course.
Hold on, see, and that's the one. Spuds McKenzie, you're into the dilly.
No,
thing
I said it ran its course. I said I get it. That was funny for a while.
Was it?
It was annoyingly funny for a while, but then it ran its course. I'm just saying, I think it's run its course.
With all due respect, again, you being a teetotaler and all.
Yes.
They're probably not going after you anyway.
Yeah, probably right. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah. And I totally made that up. I have no idea if you're a teetotaler or not.
Kind of. Semi. I mean, since my heart attack, you can
Mm.
kind of be smart about it. But yeah, I don't know. The commercial has just gotten annoying.
You know, the flip side though.
Yeah.
You're a college kid.
Yeah.
You probably are who they're targeting.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. College kid. There we go. Nice. And the old man with the stick turning the king,
the throne in.
Yeah.
He's a wizard, dude.
As a wizard, all right.
He's not just some random old man they grabbed off the street. Because he was asking for some change.
It's just throwing it down. It's like, hey, I can turn it into some beer for you. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just tired of it.
Who among us would not like to have an old man with a cane turning everything into beer for us?
I guess that would be okay. I guess. Looking real quick, and we are going to have Rusty the Sports Clown, I found out. He finally, I don't know.
Talk about things that have run their course. I mean, geez. Give me Dilly any day of the week.
He crawled out from under his rock, I guess. So
I'd rather have Dilly than Crusty Rusty anytime.
But before we go there, I just wanted to ask you, looking at it now, being the genius that you are sports-wise and prognosticator, do you think the Eagles... Do you see any point where the Eagles...
Before I answer, if I start my own one-man filibuster here, does that mean we might not have time for Rusty? Okay. Then I'm going to give you like a 20-minute diatribe here. No, I'm kidding.
It worked for Schumer, so
yeah, sure. Do the Eagles have a chance? Was that your question? Yeah, they have a chance.
No, do you see them winning?
Do I think the Eagles are going to win? No. Will I be picking... Well, I hate to spoil, you have to tune in to see who I'm picking. To the Sports Bar, weekdays 3 to 7, 95.9 FM, AM 670 Sports Animal. Sure, the Eagles have a chance to win. Do I think they're going to win? Honestly, no.
No.
As a matter of fact, spoiler alert, I'll be picking the Patriots. Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I mean...
But sure, they have a chance.
I had the Patriots pick for the Super Bowl before the season started. I think as long as Tom Brady is there, they're the front runners every year.
Absolutely. A good rule of thumb, if you always pick the Patriots in each playoff game, more times than not, you're going to win.
Yeah, and is he looking old now?
No, not really.
I mean, Alden and I were talking about it a little bit before. He goes, and Jay Pole and Josh back there, and it's like, when Peyton dropped back, it's like, there's a stiff wind out today. You might stay in the locker room. Yeah. And every time someone touched him, he was like cringing. But it's just like...
Well, with Manning, it was different because his neck was fused together, and he didn't want to be a paraplegic.
Yeah.
He also, because of the neck surgery, didn't have a lot of feeling in his hands and couldn't grip the football.
Okay.
So his decline... Certainly, age was a part of it, but it was also, just the banging that his body had taken.
And Favre too.
Sure. Look, at some point in time, because the only person undefeated is Father Time.
Right.
And at some point in time, Father Time is going to take Brady down for the count. But right now, he still looks pretty doggone good. Is he as good as he was 5 years ago? No. He might be smarter than he was 5 years ago, and he uses that to his advantage. But no, he's still playing at an incredibly high level.
Yeah. How many more years are they going to? How many more Super Bowls and AFC championship games?
Well, he wants to play till he's 45. So by my math, he's got about 4 more.
Oh my!
4 more AFC championships and Super Bowl appearances. Maybe he gets 2 more after this year.
I mean, the greatest player of all time.
Oh yeah.
No doubt about it. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Rusty the Sports Clown here on Red Menace TV.
Sports Break. Here we go. All right, let's begin with Lobo stuff. That's always good. All right, the Lobo women, after having such an amazing start, they've faltered of late. Okay, that means in, like small people's terms, they lost a couple games in a row. Okay, they play really hard and they're like ahead by 10 points, but then they find a way to lose it at the end. It's kind of disappointing. Come on, ladies, pick it up just a little bit. Now, for a real surprise. I know you're thinking, surprise, really? Huh? How can we do that? The men, I know. After looking brutal for a stretch, now they kind of look pretty amazing. I know. Now, they had a few injuries that depleted the roster. So now they're calling themselves the Nasty Nine. Because before the injuries, they had like 11 or 12 guys that, all of them are on the court. They're just like rotating through as fast as they can, just so that nobody's getting too tired. Well, these 9 guys, which includes 8 scholarship players and 1 walk-on, they're just flipping amazing. They're getting stuff done. Now, they should have 2 more guys back from injury, but the way this group is playing, I'm not sure they're needed or more perplexing if they're even going to fit in. Okay, in their last 2 games, both come from behind wins, 1 at UNLV and 1 here at home to San Diego State. Oh, I have to take a break and tell you this. Okay, Coach Weir is the first brand new Mountain West coach to beat those 2 teams in his first try. That's pretty amazing right there. Okay, so they won those 2 games. Now, in those games, they've shown a killer mentality that they lacked earlier in the season in close losses. Games that they should have won, games where they were up big, and then they don't score for like the last 3 minutes and lose the game. They're not doing that now. Okay, the biggest challenge right now is to fill the pit. Oh, pardon me, Dream Style Arena. They changed the name. Now, there were only like 11,500 people at the San Diego State game. Now, granted, they were very loud, and they did their job being boisterous and disrupting the other team and all that fun stuff, but we need to get our full 16,000 in that arena again. Now, I know money's tight after the holidays, but let's support the Lobos in their push to the Mountain West Conference Championship in Las Vegas. Remember when that trip was affordable? Back when it was just the Mountain West Conference and the WAC having their tournaments there? I know, the hotel rooms, they were affordable. You could fly over there cheap and everything, and it was fun, and people would gamble and they'd have a great time. Las Vegas became UNM West during tournament time. Now that they've added the Pac-12 on the West Coast Conference Championship, there's 4 men's champions and 3 ladies champs that will be crowned in Las Vegas. I know, it's crazy. Now then, with that many teams and schools and fans descending on Las Vegas during, that week and a half, guess what they do to hotel prices? Yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, they jack them through the roof. So now you don't get as many local fans because they start looking at the calendar and they say, well, it's going to cost me this much to fly there, and the rooms that I used to be able to get for this much, it's like, holy cow, $300 a room. I know, that's pretty ridiculous. Kind of disappointing, but let's try and support him anyway. Get there if you can. Now, let's talk some Lobo football. I know. All right, we are still signing a whole bunch of new players. And our preference right now seems to be for junior college guys. Maybe it's because of the experience and, they should be able to step right in and play. I don't know. We're going to see. They've also filled out the coaching staff, okay, which includes the addition of Calvin McGee, who's taking a huge pay cut to come here, okay? He was making around $500,000 at Arizona as the assistant head coach and the co-offensive coordinator. He will only be making around $200,000 here. I know, and I was gonna do the offensive coordinator gig for like $99,000. I'm disappointed, I'm sad too. Okay, but anyway, okay, he's gonna run the show here. Davey says we're still gonna be committed to the run, but if McGee brings that fast-paced style that Arizona ran with Rich Rodriguez, this could be fun to watch. Okay, now what do you say we get into some... Now then, for all you guys that are trying to think, what am I going to do this next weekend? The Lobos, they play Colorado State. Go check it out. Fill the pit. It'll be fun. Oh, Dream Style Arena. Red Menace peeps, guess what? You missed all the cool stuff in my spot today. I know. So you're going to have to watch it live on my show tomorrow night, right after the Steve Davis show, or... go to my Facebook page. That's the best way to do it. You're going to see all of it in living color with me, the star. It's going to be so much fun. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, follow me to a Lobos game. They play Colorado State this weekend. So if there's an event, a game, a meet, a match, anything cool featuring Lobos, just go. Bye, guys. See you in a while.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of Proview Sports Network. Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of Proview Sports Network.
Welcome back. Hey, we only have a couple minutes left. I want to touch up on a couple of things. Calvin McGee gets hired as Lobos offensive coordinator, comes from Arizona and Michigan with Rich Rodriguez, kind of running a little bit more of a spread offense, but also keeping the option in there. Thoughts?
We'll see what they actually do with the offense.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I do think they have some quarterbacks that are going to throw a little bit better than Lamar Jordan was able to do. I think the wide receivers were there. Let's see with the offensive line now, and of course, if they can do something with that tight end slot position. Running backs are there still. It'd be interesting to see how much they do changes on that.
Just curious, what quarterbacks are going to be better throwers than Lamar was?
I think Tavaka
and Tuioti.
I think he had a better arm, a little bit more accurate arm. Let's see with him now playing with the first team, he's going to have competition. They did sign the JUCO kid that's coming in. That guy can throw. That guy's got a little bit of an arm on him. But we'll see. I mean, once again, it's not just the quarterback, right? I mean, you got to have the receivers, which I think they have. But you got to have the offensive line, an offensive line that's pretty much been predominantly run blockers the past couple of years. And now you're going to ask them to kind of be not only just run blockers, but pass blockers as well.
I like the hire. We'll see how much they change things up.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to air raid offense here. I'm just saying there will be some wrinkles and some twists. Real quick, DWO gets ready to kick off here next month. They're getting close to that. We'll have to see about getting some of those guys in, or at least going and talking with them. Blue Meanies coming to town for those that are into the wrestling, pro wrestling, and remember
from ECW back in the day.
Yeah, were you a big Blue Meanie guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
You like that? Yeah,
I was a big ECW fan, so yeah.
Were you? Oh, yeah. EC Dub, everything else?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah.
Is it Samboa? What was his name?
Sabu.
Sabu, thank you. I was never a big ECW guy. I never got it. I never was a big Royal Rumble.
Well, you're not into Dilly Dilly, so
no Dilly Dilly, no EC Dub.
Yeah.
EC Dub. Though I did like when Bubba Ray came into town with DWO, so that ought to be fun. We'll see about that. Maybe we'll see if we can get in touch with Hobo Hank again. He's been doing podcasts all across the country now. He's a big superstar.
Drove by his house the other day. Went to Frontier for lunch. Didn't look like he was home.
Did you go knock on the dumpster and see if he was around?
For those who don't know, Hobo Hank lives in the dumpster behind the Frontier restaurant.
Probably one of the greatest. You got to love that.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we should probably take the video camera out there and maybe do an interview.
Stop by the house.
Stop by the crib, see what's up.
Or if he's at work, we have to go to that off-ramp there on the freeway.
Well, I don't know now because they made that law that you can't really ask for money now on the side of the road. So he might.
Does that mean he can get unemployment finally?
Well, he does wrestle for food.
Yeah.
You know, I know I've seen him pull a few drinks and some popcorn for people before.
Man's got to eat.
I mean, man's
got
to
stay hydrated.
There's no water boy there, so you got to grab what you got to grab.
There's no fridge in that dumpster, man. He doesn't have a stock of beverages.
No refrigerator in there?
I would assume not. No electricity. Even if he does have a fridge in there, how's he keeping it cold?
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's cold right now.
Well,
it's a little chilly, here in town. So, anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and call it a show.
It means he's probably not plugging in the old electric blanket at night.
No, the electric blanket's probably not getting. He might rub a couple straws together to try to start a fire. Hey,
I don't know.
We'll be back next week for Michael Carlisle, Alden, Micah. I'm Leroy. God bless you all.